everyone, welcome to a new video. So today's video is going to be my 2025 bookshelf tour. So my bookshelves haven't changed like a super ton since last year, but I still wanted to film this video because I did get some new books and some stuff that I want to show you. So here is kind of the overview of my shelves. So I have this little wooden shelf over here that my mom's boyfriend built for me. And then I have the Billy bookshelves from IKEA. So here's a little overview, and then we'll kind of go shelf by shelf. We'll start with this little wood one. So over here, I have my physical TBR shelf. At the time that I'm filming this, it is like early February. I don't know when this video will be posted, but these are the books that I haven't read yet. So hopefully by the time this video gets posted, I've read like one or two of these, but who knows. So this is where I put my physical TBR. So I have this little fairy figurine. You'll notice lots of little fairy figurines on my bookshelves because I like to collect them and I just think they're so cute. And then I have this like gemstone bookend thing, which is really pretty. And then this little fake plant from IKEA with these little butterfly clips that my friend Lachlan gave me. So then the first shelf is kind of a little bit like historical fiction, I guess. I have this mug here that just holds a lot of my bookmarks. And then I have this book here, which Brandon kind of helped get published when he was in college. This book my mom gave me because we're like very Dutch, and she just thought that this like end pages were super cute of them like ice skating around the windmills, so I have that on the shelf as well. Never read it though, don't know what it's about. Then I have some classics that I really like. Fahrenheit 451 is one of my favorites. The Importance of Being Earnest, absolutely love this play. These classics I haven't really read except for Pride and Prejudice. I haven't read Wuthering Heights yet. I did unhaul this at one point and then I ended up keeping it because nobody bought it. And I do eventually want to read it, so there it sits. And then I have some John Keats poems, and then my Veronica Speedwell series. I still need to get A Grave Robbery when that comes out in paperback. And then I just have this little like stone here that looks kind of a little bit like a moon. I don't know, I think it's cute. On the next shelf, there's not really a like specific genre like I do with most of my other shelves, but I have a mystery, one of my all-time faves, Project Hail Mary. Middle Game, I have this arc of the second book that I won in a Goodreads giveaway. I didn't enjoy this one quite as much, so, and it's just the arc, so I don't know. I haven't read the third one yet. The Ninth House series, and then this is a nonfiction about Jack the Ripper. This guy was our tour guide when I went with my friend Casey, so I bought his book during the tour. This little gnome here, his name is Pappy. My friend Casey got him for me when we were in high school. And then I just have some gems sitting on here. I think this is amethyst, and this one is a citrine, I think. Then we've got my two graphic novel shelves. So I have Fangs. I have the first 5 volumes of Heartstopper. I have them in the like international edition. And then the 5th volume I got in the US edition, and they don't match. And yes, it does bother me. And then I have the Lore Olympus series and this little mushroom guy that my friend Casey crocheted for me. And then on the bottom shelf is just a book club candle that I've never lit, a little plant, and then my collection of the Giant Days series, which if you haven't read, you need to. It's so good. They're so funny. This is basically my favorite graphic novel series ever. Then we can kind of move over to my Billy bookshelves. So the top of these two bookshelves you can see is my Sarah J. Maas collection. So up on the top I have this little fairy that I painted. Then I have these editions of the ACOTAR series. I think they're from, I think it's called A Million World Designs on Etsy. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. I have this little surreal with a teacup, Night Court sigil, and then the candle up there just says Valaris Nights. And then the top of this shelf is my Fairy Loot editions of the Crescent City, the first 2 Crescent City books, which are gorgeous. And then the collector's edition of ACOTAR, a House of Wind candle, and then a little art print that I got from Lachlan of Nesta, Emery, and Gwyn. This shelf is just my Nerdy Ink dust jackets of the Throne of Glass series, and then in this little, it's supposed to be a flower pot, but it's Crescent City themed, is all of my Sarah J. Maas themed bookmarks, which I love all of these. And then in this little tin, it is filled with a bunch of my Sarah J. Maas stickers. Let me see if I can do this one-handed. So there's a bunch in here. They're all Sarah J. Maas themed, and it just says, "Be glad of your human heart. Pity those who don't feel anything at all," which is a quote from ACOTAR. So I just leave that sitting up there because I think it's cute. And then this shelf is basically my Crescent City shelf. So I have some special editions of House of Sky and Breath, House of Flame and Shadow. I have the Illumicrate editions of the first 2, and then my original annotated hardcover of House of Earth and Blood, my annotated edition of House of Sky and Breath, and then again another special edition of House of Flame and Shadow, and then also the 2 paperbacks, which I think I've only annotated, yeah, House of Sky and Breath. Whenever I do a reread, I need to annotate the paperback of House of Earth and Blood. And I'm sure I will get the paperback of House of Flame and Shadow whenever it comes out. And then I also have this little mini bookshelf, which I think is really adorable, that has all of Sarah J. Maas's books on it, minus Catwoman. And we have my Throne of Glass shelf. So I have the collector's edition of Throne of Glass. This is a little pop socket that I had on my phone for a long time that said Rattle the Stars, but it fell off and I didn't want to get rid of it because I still think it's cute, so I just put it up here. And then a Road to Terracin candle. Oh, now this thing is not going to stay. There we go. Then I have all of the new edition paperbacks of the series, which I did go through and annotate when I reread them. And then all of the original cover dust jackets, or original cover editions of the Throne of Glass series. So all of the hardcovers, which I really like these covers, but the new ones have grown on me. And then this one is just a special edition. It had an alternate dust jacket that I just flipped around. And then this shelf has the ACOTAR coloring book, which I've never colored in, but I have it. This is actually a coaster that Brandon made me with some of the Farah and Reese art from Charlie Bowater. So I just have it sitting on this little easel here because I think it's cute. This edition of A Court of Mist and Fury is the one that I got when I was with the girls, and they've all like signed it and kind of wrote in it like a yearbook. So it's very special because I have all my besties' signatures and like little notes in there. I have the paperback editions of the original covers of the ACOTAR series, and then the original covers of the hardcover version of that. And then this is my like super heavily annotated and defaced copy of A Court of Mist and Fury because it is my favorite book of all time. I have a whole like flip through of this if you're interested in seeing like all of my annotations and like all of the crazy stuff I did to this one. I will leave that link down below. This is a signed edition, which again, because it's the original cover, it's like pretty valuable. The hardcovers, I have this alternate dust jacket that I got, I think on Redbubble actually, of the A Court of Silver Flames to kind of match the original covers, so I like that one. I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of A Court of Silver Flames. This was before they announced that they were doing like black covers for the whole series, which I think that comes out in April. But I annotated this and I just absolutely love how it turned out. I think this is a work of art. I have this mug here too of Cassian and Nesta, which I don't ever use to like drink out of, so I just put it on the bookshelf here. And then these are the A Touch of Magic Designs covers, like alternate dust jackets of the ACOTAR series, which I love them. So yeah, those are my Sarah J. Maas shelves. I think last year I said I would do a like in-depth Sarah J. Maas collection tour, so where I like flip through like all of the special editions I have and stuff like that. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments because I can always film that, but otherwise here it is, just a little overview. So now I'll move to this shelf. This is kind of my like high epic fantasy shelf, so I have some gems on here as well. I'm not even sure what kind of like stone this is. My mom gave it to me. It's just really pretty, so I think they're cool. I like them. But the first book over here is Empire of the Vampire. This is the alternate dust jacket that Lachlan gave me. She also gifted me this copy of it and wrote like a note in here when she came to visit, so it's very special to me. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And then Empire of the Damned, the final book, comes out this year, and I'm so hyped for it. Then we have the Nevernight series. So some of these are like signed first editions, like God's Grave is, and I think Dark Dawn is as well. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I really like this series as well. Then we have the Stormlight Archive books, which weren't on here last year, and honestly, nobody is more surprised than I am that these are on my shelves. I'm currently reading Oathbringer. You can see where my bookmark is, but hopefully by the time this video gets posted, I will have finished this, and this will be the longest book that I've ever read. This is over 1,200 pages. Then we have the first book in the Mistborn series, so the other ones are on my physical TBR, so I'll be getting to those. Sword of Kaigan, Six of Crows duology, the Shades of Magic series, and then back here we have the Baron the Nightingale series. I'm not sure if this has like a specific series title, but I really love this series. And then Song of Achilles, which is another annotated edition. And then I've got this mug here, which is a Magnolia Parks mug, but it's got all of my like bookmarks and stuff in here as well. This next shelf, I call this like my whimsical shelf. So I have the Wayward Children series minus the most recent release. I haven't gotten a copy of that one yet. My annotated paperback editions of The Night Circus and The Starless Sea, which are two of my all-time favorite books. The Caraval trilogy and The Girl Who Drank the Moon, which is my favorite middle grade. Again, more little gems. Here's another amethyst. They just kind of make this shelf look really nice. This is just a little candle. This is The Nature of Witches. It's the first printing edition, so it has like this special hardcover casing on it, and I just think it's really pretty without the dust jacket, so I have it sitting there. And then another bookshelf fairy that is from the Camden Market in the UK, so I brought her all the way back across the sea. She's so pretty. This next shelf, I have all of my TJ Klunes. I also have this little like stuffed thing of one of the characters from TJ Klune's book, From the House in the Cerulean Sea, that one of my coworkers gave me because we had talked about that book and she absolutely loves it, and she saw that and was like, Hannah needs that. So here he sits on my shelf. We've got The Spell Shop, Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I'm really excited for the next book because I thought this was so cute. My two Emily Wilde paperbacks. I'm really excited for the next book. The Ornithologist Field Guide to Love, Half a Soul, the Assistant to the Villain books. So these two have like the sprayed edges. Again, very excited for the third one. My original cover copy of A Dowry of Blood, which I need to reread because it's so good. Hex, Wild as the Witch, Spells for Forgetting, and then the two In the Company of Witches series. This is like, what is the series called? It's like B&B something. Even Fall Witches B&B Mystery. Then I have another like geode gemstone bookend, and then just like this little dish of like polished rocks and crystals and stuff. Then I have this bottom shelf here, which is my nostalgic shelf. So I keep my like yarn and like crocheting stuff here as well, but I've got Fangirl, the Twilight series. That is the like books that I had in high school. I was so obsessed. The Host, the Hunger Games series, again, formative years. I read those and they truly shaped me into the reader I am today. And then also the Divergent series, and then these little ones over here are like children's books, or this book from my mom that's like all about mother-daughter relationships and stuff that she highlighted and annotated for me when I graduated high school. So I would grab that book in a fire. Over on this next shelf, we have some of my fantasy romances. So I have the From Blood and Ash series and the prequel books. I don't have all of them that are out, but these are the ones that I've read. I ended up like somewhat DNFing this series just because it got to be a little bit much, but I do think I'll go back to it eventually. Oh yeah, decorations. This little birdhouse I thought was really cute. And then these are like Larimar stones, I think. Just have them sitting there. Again, I just think they're cute. The Powerless books, which I ended up DNFing Reckless, so I don't know if I'll continue the series or not. A Dawn of Onyx, Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars in the like original self-published editions, which I heavily annotated this edition, so I'm definitely going to be keeping that one because it's one of my favorite fan rows. Fear the Flames, which this is like one of the OG copies before it got picked up by a traditional publisher and like heavily edited. So this is basically like an early manuscript. And then the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which I've also annotated in, and then they got picked up by a traditional publisher. So now the next books won't match. And then my Road of Bones books. This is a rock from Lachlan's yard when I went and visited. It's just kind of shaped like a heart, and I was like, can I keep this? So it's sitting there, and then this is some of the yarn from when my mom taught her how to knit like 2 Christmases ago, so I couldn't throw it away, so I put it on my shelf. Another cute little rose fairy, another fake plant, and then we've got the Bargainer series and the OG covers, which I really liked this series when I read it the first time. When I reread it, I liked it a little bit less. Then we have the Book of Azrael, which I did DNF, but I want to go back to eventually, so I've just held on to my copy of it. And then all of my copies, or all of my like books in the Zodiac Academy series, which again, I still have to finish that series. Next shelf, we have the collector's edition of The Cruel Prince, and then the Cruel Prince series, the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber in these amazing UK paperbacks. This encapsulates the series so well, like the art style of this. It's so cute, and yeah, I annotated these as well. I just think they fit the series so much better than the US covers, and I love them so much more. My Strange the Dreamer books, and then I also have Heartless Hunter, and then this little fairy that I got with Brandon, and I think she is stunning. Then the bottom shelf down here, I have some of my like emo books. So I've got Daisy Jones and the Six, Anxious People, one of my favorite books of all time, my Sally Rooney's, my copy of A Little Life, which is an annotated edition that Lachlan gave me. She ended up not really loving this book, and when she was getting rid of it, she gave it to me. My Olive E. Blake, which is also annotated, Where the Crawdads Sing, my 2 Charlotte McConaughey books, and then I also have like a bunch of little like field guides and stuff, which I don't know why. I have like a fascination with collecting these, but I love them, so here we are. And then I have like some books about like pregnancy and stuff. So, and then these books are books that I've unhauled and have listed on my Pango that just haven't sold yet. So there's not a whole lot left, but that's just where they sit. Then we have my final shelf. So the top is all Harry Potter-esque. So we've got Hedwig, we've got the Harry Potter trunk. That gray box up there is a replica of Hermione Granger's wand. I have this little art print that's like the owl post page from the book with an owl painted on it. On the side here, I have the 9 3/4 platform like sign, and it lights up, and then there's like a little Hedwig right there, which I think is cute. These are the Nerdy Ink dust jackets, which I just have wrapped around the original dust jackets of my hardcovers. And then I have this stunning paperback edition, like where you can kind of see Hogwarts and whatever, but I've also gone through and annotated some of these, and I just have a really fun time with it. And then this interactive edition, which I just think has a really pretty cover, and this little Ravenclaw bird that I got from my friend Mel. The next shelf is all fan fiction, and I have them like grouped with Harry Potter because all of the ships are from the Harry Potter world, so there you have it. My friend Mel made all of these paper cranes, which is like a theme in Manacled, and I put all of the extras in this little cup here. But Mel gifted, like hand bound and gifted all of these fanfics for me, which is so insane, so incredibly nice. And I will never stop being grateful to have physical copies of some of these books, like Manacled and Remain Nameless changed me as a person. And then a lot of these, like the paperbacks, were ones that we were buddy reading together, so she made them for me. I haven't read Damaged Goods or Rosemary for Remembrance yet, and I also need to finish the last, like, volume of Measure of a Man. But yeah, most of these are Dramini fanfics because that is my ship, so that's why I have this little Draco and then this candle, Draco candle from Lachlan that sits on here. My next shelf is my romance shelf. So I just have this little like flower lady figurine. I think she's really pretty. But then I have my two favorite books from the Chestnut Spring series. Heartless is my #1 favorite. I have the Written in the Stars companion series by Alexandria Bellafleur. So I think Hang the Moon was my favorite in that one. So this one's sapphic. This one has a bisexual main character, and then this one's also sapphic. Then I have my two favorite Abby Jimenez books. Yours Truly is one of my all-time favorites. My Emily Henry books, minus, what was the last one? Funny Story, which hasn't come out in paperback yet. So when that comes out in paperback, I'll add it to this, and then I'll be salty that the newest one, when it releases, will only come out in hardcover, so I'll have to wait another year to get the paperback for it. I have my Allie Hazelwood books, my copy of The Hating Game, which is like one of the first romances, like hate to love romances I ever read, and I just absolutely love it. At least I loved it then. I don't know if I would still love it now, but I loved it then. Some holiday romances. Funnily enough, one of them is literally titled Holiday Romance. Mistletoe Motive is my absolute favorite holiday romance, though. It's so short, and I've annotated it. I love it. I love it so much. Thousand Boy Kisses, Spanish Love Deception, and the OG cover of From Luke of with Love. And then, of course, because it's a romance shelf, it has to have a romance candle. And this cute little fairy reading a book. My next shelf has been dedicated to Jessa Hastings. So we have Never by Jessa Hastings, which is the first book in a kind of fantasy, kind of magical realism. It's like a Peter Pan retelling. And I actually beta read that book. So, and I just think the artwork on it is so gorgeous. And then because I was a beta reader for it, I got like a PR package. So I got the little Lost Girl candle and this little like vial of sparkles. And there was some other stuff in there as well, but that book. Then we have the Magnolia Park series. So I have all of the self-published ones that I have heavily annotated in. I have this little like gemstone tree too that I have just sitting right on top. This little crochet bee, because bees are like a big deal in this series. And then I have these, I think these are like a limited collector's edition of the like 3 Magnolia specific books. And I'm actually named in The Long Way Home forward, which is really cool. So right here, the YouTube book cuties, Lachlan, Hannah, and Rachel. I don't know who these other ones are, but I'm sure they have great taste. But obviously Bestie Lachlan, me, and Bestie Rachel were all named in the book. Like, my name is in a book. That's so cool. And then underneath that is my like dark romance / Penelope Douglas shelf. So I have the Devil's Night series, Tris Six Venom, and Birthday Girl. I have Credence and Punk 57, which is my favorite, Penelope Douglas. That one's annotated. Then the Sinners duet, which I really enjoyed, Still Beating, and The Pool Boy, which is not really a dark romance, but is a taboo romance, so I just put it here. And then I have this like Taylor Swift candle. I don't know that this actually smells like Taylor Swift, but who knows. This little painting that Brandon made when we were into painting several years ago of these two birds sitting on a line. And then this adorable little teapot with a fairy garden on top. I just love it so much. And then on the last shelf, it's not like actual books. It's my old planner, an old photo album, my old reading journals. This was the notebook I used to take notes in for my Sarah J. Maas read-along with my friend Christina. And here is all of the dust jackets that I've taken off of the books that I've put on alternate dust jackets for. This is from when Lachlan and I did the first sentence challenge, so it's got like little eyeballs. And then this little box is full of like cards and stationery and stuff like that, like thank you cards and Christmas cards and all that stuff. So that I just have that sitting on the bottom shelf. So yeah, there you have it. Those are my bookshelves. Again, they probably look pretty similar to how they looked last year, but there are some new books on there. Some things have been shifted around. Some books have been unhauled. Some books have been added. So I just figured I would do an updated version of this video. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below what your favorite shelf was. If you have a specific shelf that you were like, that chef's kiss. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate you watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!